greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Ladies' Day on a Wednesday. Yes, we changed it because the female artist we're going to focus today is the one and only Miss Carole King. Because she has released 17 albums, Dave and I thought, well, we better do it as a marathon. So we just swapped the days over. So Carole King, born Carole Joan Klein, 9th of February 1942. Probably one of the most successful American female songwriters and singers. You know, before she had a huge solo career, she had written 118 pop songs, mostly with Jerry Goffin. They were married they split up, but they still write together. They've wrote some great songs since. Her daughters sing and write as well, so they sort of take after their parents. I don't think Carole King made a bad album. There's ones that I'm not as keen on as others. She tried a few things that didn't quite work, but always the music, the songs were good and her singing was good, even if some of the backing wasn't to my liking. So we have got 17 to go through today, so we'll get cracking. So coming in at number 17, we go to the 16th album, and it was released in 2001, and it's called Love Makes the World Go Round. Now, with most Carole King albums, there are so many people in the band, or the people record it will be here forever. So I'll only mention band members if there's some prominent ones, or not as many. So the first track on this one is called Love Makes the World Go Round. Love the song, love the lyrics, love Carole's voice, but the drum machine, no, it just doesn't sound right for Carole. You know, you could do anything, baby. There's another song next. I like the song, just don't like the backing of it. It's just too plastic. Then we have The Reason. Powerful track. It is really good. It's one of the better tracks on this album, and I really like that one. I wasn't gonna fall in love. The drum machine doesn't sound right, but the song is really nice. I don't know. This sort of modern poppy sound did not suit Carole, I'm afraid. Okay, Oh Not My Baby, a Jerry Goffin and King song. It's okay. It's a wonderful vocal from Carole. Really good song. I like that one. If I Could Have Been Any More, a really nice song. Proper drummer on this one, so it sounds right. Another wonderful track. Monday Without You, my second favourite track on here. This is more like it. Dump the Machines, use proper musicians, really good. Uncommon Love, nice compliment here. Piano, Carole playing, strings, perfect. You Will Find Me There. Just dump the machines. Just play the piano and have real instruments. Safe Again, a nice track, lovely vocal from Carole. And the last track is This Time. Some lovely harmonies on it. It's just a solid track. There are some really nice songs on here, don't get me wrong, but what lets it down is the drum machine, and there's no atmosphere on them tracks. The tracks where she's doing it, there's some lovely atmosphere. So for the songs and Carole singing, I'll give this an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 16 from 1983, Speeding Time. On here there's not as many people. We've got Carole King on vocals, backing vocals, synthesizers and pianos. Robbie Condor doing the same, and a bit of programming. He plays the harmonica as well. Rob Muir synthesizing. Danny Korchmer and Lee Retner on guitar. Bob Galorb on bass, Steve Media on drums, Russ Cunnell on drums, Bobby Hall percussion. We've got Plas Johnson doing some saxophones as well. First track on here is a King Goffin number called Computer Eyes. It's okay. It's a nice song actually. I don't mind that one. One small voice, very quirky. The sort of programming on it, it's not. I just don't. It just sort of cringes me a little bit. Crying in the Rain. Now this is a great song, and of course, it's famous by the Everly Brothers, of course, and she does a wonderful version. It's my favourite song on here. Wonderful. And she wrote it, of course, with Howard Greenfield. So, yes, it's one of her own. There you go. There's one that people don't know, that she wrote the Everly Brothers' Crying in the Rain. Okay, Sacred Heart of Stone, a Goffin King track. Same keyboard sound as I used in Crying in the Rain. It's alright. I like it. Speed in Time, another Goffin and King track. Really nice. They always wrote some great songs. Standing on the Border, another duo. Lovely vocals from Carole on this. The arrangement is really good. I like that. So Ready for Love, good song. Classic sounding Carole here. Really good. Chalice Borderlace, co-wrote with then husband Rick Sorensen. Nah, not the same combination as King and Goffin, I'm afraid. Then we have Dancing, a classic sounding song. We go back to that. After all this plastic, we go back to some proper Carole King. And then a Blaster Lady, a brilliant song, even with the drum program, and it really works on that. Yeah, really good. It was lovely to see Jerry and Carole working together, writing some good songs. It's not a bad album, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.8. Oh, coming in at number 15. This was released in 1980, and it's called Pearls, Songs of Goffin and King. So it's songs that they wrote together. First one is Dancing with Tears in My Eyes. A great song. They wrote this when she wrote this when she was in a band called The City, which we will look at some stage. It's a nice song, and I like that. Then there's Locomotion. Yes, a lot of people don't realise that Carole King and Jerry Goffin wrote Locomotion. Big hit for Little Eva. Really good. One Fine Day. Great song. Done by the Chiffons. And it's my favourite track on here, and I love the Chiffon version as well. Hey Girl. Now this has got a bit of a history, this one. Written for Freddie Scott in 1963, but then Donny Osmond did a version of it. I think Carole's is probably the best version. Snow Queen. I like this. This is the only place this ever appeared is on a live album from Carnegie Hall with and it's the City track. I do like that. Chains. Another song that people don't realise that's written by Goffin and King. Made famous by the Beatles, of course, on their debut album. Oh Not My Baby. First person to record this was Maxine Brown. Rod Stewart did a version of this. I think this is a pretty good song, and it's a great version. Heidi Ho. Another track, a City track that they wrote. It's pretty good. Wasn't Born to Follow You. One of the songs that she recorded with the City again. Really good. And this, remember, the Byrds did a version of this, and it was in the film Easy Rider. Then Going Back, made famous, of course, by Dusty Springfield. And Phil Collins recorded this on his Going Back album as well. It's a really nice song. I think this is a real enjoyable album of her playing some of her past. I like listening to this. It's a really, really good album. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 14 is her last album that she's put out. And it came out in 2011 and it's called A Holiday Carole, or titled in A Christmas Carol in the UK and Australia. And it's her first album in 10 years. So these are just all songs, Christmas songs and that sort of thing. So the first track is My Favourite Things, and I love this version of it. Of course, it's from The Sound of Music. That's really good. Carole does a great version of it. Then she does a fantastic version of Carol and the Bells. It may be a Christmas song, but I love it. Then she does a version of Sleigh Ride, a great version of it, really good. Then Christmas Paradise, which is a new song written by her daughter, Louise Goffin. It's a great song. It's got a bit of a Caribbean feel to it. Really strong song. Then we got Every Day Will Be a Holiday. William Bell and Booker T. Jones song. Fantastic version of this. I do like that. Then we got Chancanua Perere, which features Louise Goffin. It's a traditional, and it's also features Carole's grandson doing some little thing. Bit of a family fun, mum, daughter and grandson. It's quite nice. A wonderful version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Then a wonderful version of Irving Berlin's I've Got to Keep My Love to Keep Me Warm. Wonderful version of this. Christmas in the Air, which is a Louise Goffin song, original song, brilliant. Takes after her mum and dad and writing great songs. Did You Hear What I'll Hear? A really great version of that. And then we've got This Christmas. Very good. New Year's Day, which is written by Louise and Guy Chambers. A really nice song. Okay, this is an album you only play once a year, but I think it's a really good Christmas album. I like playing this at Christmas, and I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, then coming in at number 13, we got the 14th album from 1989. Lots of people on here, but two tracks feature the one and only Mr. Eric Clapton. So the first track on City Streets is the title track. Very sort of late 80s sound, but it's got a fantastic guitar solo from Eric. Not a bad. Sweet Life, very commercial sounding, but I quite like it. It's quirky, it's a nice little pop song. I don't mind that one. Down to the Darkness. It's a bit too 80s for me, but Carole sings on it fantastically. There's nothing wrong with Carole singing. Love Light is a bit of a meh track as well. Although Carole, I just love Carole singing, but the arrangement not for me. I Can't Stop Thinking of You, which is she did it with a duet with Paul Lip. Nice job, nice song. I do like that. Legacy, pleasant, but not but brilliant. Ain't That the Way? Typical sound that's been made in the late 80s. Everyone was doing it, even Carole. And she sings all right. Then we have a song written with Jerry, Midnight Flyer. It's a brilliant song. Then we have Homeless Heart, which she does a duo with her other daughter, Sherry. And it's a really nice duo between mum and second daughter. Someone Who Believes in You, my favourite song on here, written by King and Goffin, just at their best, and it's the last track on the album. A mixed bag here, some really good songs on here. So, although it's sort of 80s sort of thing, it's still pretty good. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Time for a drink already. Oh dear. Okay, then coming in at number 12, we got the 15th album from 1993. It's released in March 1993, and it's called Colour of Dreams. First track on here, Laid Down My Life. A great song spoiled by the drum machine. It doesn't sound right without drum machine, but the song itself is really good. It's a great vocal from Carole. Hold Out for Love. It's not a bad song. Lovely sort of harmonies as well. Nice song. Standing in the Rain. Another Jerry Goffin and Carole King song. Great song this is. Lots of people have recorded this. My favourite track on the album. Now and Forever. Now this is a song, if you remember, was featured in the film A League of Gentlemen. It's a bit wishy-washy and a drum machine, so it's not for me. Wishful Thinking. It's got a wonderful saxophone solo on it. That's pretty good. Colour of Your Dreams itself isn't too bad. Nice catchy tune. Not a bad vocal from Carole as ever. Tears Are Falling on Me. Not bad. Friday's Tie-Dye Nightmare. Second favourite track on here. Bit raunchy. I do like that track. And then we have Just One Thing. Not bad. Love the drumming on this. Get a proper drummer in. It sounds good. Do You Feel? Groovy bass line on this. A bit funky keyboard. And the last track, It's Never Too Late. Another Goffin King track. Pretty reasonable as well. Another mixed bag here. There's lots of songs on here that are good. Some of them are still at that sort of time with the programming. But on the whole, it's Carole vocals that come through all the time. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 11 from 1982. It's called One to One. First track is One to One. Really good song. That lovely classic piano from Carole. Wonderful vocal as well. It's a War. The bongo bit at the beginning is pretty good. Another sort of groovy sort of track. I do like that. Looking Out for number 1. Very funky, but it's great. I love the funky keyboard on here. Good track. Life Without Love. This is father and daughter writing. Louise and Jerry Goffin with a bit of help from Warren Pash. Great song, you know. This family are so good at writing songs. It's brilliant. I love this. It's a great song, vocal from Carole. Golden Man. If there was such a thing as a classic Carole King song, this is it. It's nice piano, nice gentle beat. Read Between the Lines, sorry. Little song here, nice and clear. Love it. Love is like a boomerang. More bongos, more funky. Really quirky little track. Goat Annie. Some nice guitar work on here. Don't know who's playing it, but it's really nice, and it's another strong vocal from Carole. Someone You Never Met Before. Goffin and King again, another of my favourite tracks. I just love their writing. Fantastic song. Little Prince, a little gentle track, some nice harmonies. A good track to end the album. I would say this is probably the last of the classic Carole King albums before she went a bit poppy. But I do like this one, and I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.6. Top 10. I think these are the quintessential albums you need if you like Carole King or you're starting. These are the 10 that I would definitely go and get first. So coming in at number 10, we've got the 9th album from 1970 out, and it's called Welcome Home. First track on here is Main Street Saturday Night. I love this song, one of my favourites on the album. Bit of rocky sort of thing in this, really works well. Then we have Sunburn, wonderful vocal, wonderful flute. Really sets the song off, nice song. Then we have Venetian Diamond. Little bit different, it's mystique. It's got a great vocal from Carole. It's a bit different for her and it worked. Then we have Changes, another of my favourite tracks on here. Nice gentle pace, nice vocal from Carole. Morning Sun. One of them sort of easy listening style tracks. Strong vocals as ever. Discotheque. Now this is a little bit different. 1978 disco was quite big. And she has a go on it. It's pretty good. There's some horns in there and that really works. Wings of Love, my favourite track on here. It's just one of them lovely piano, Carole piano singing strings. Wonderful. Ride the Music. It's got that 1978 vibe. Quirky, catchy tune, good track. Everybody's Got the Spirit. Another little groovy song. Do like when she has a groove. It's really good. And then the last track, Welcome Home. A great song. Very simple. Simple arrangement. But I think simple songs are always the best. This is a great album. Not a bad track on this. It's one of them albums you put on and listen all the way through without jumping tracks. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Wraparound Joy is at number 9. This was from 1974. Carole King on piano and vocals, Charles Larkey on the bass, Andy Newmark on the drums, Dean Parks guitar, and Danny Korchmar on guitar. Opens up with one of my favourite songs ever by Carole, Nightingale. I love the guitar work in it, but it's that lovely vocal of Carole's that really sets it off. Changing Mind, I love the gentle pace of this one. The backing vocals are really good on this as well. Jazzman, my number 3 song in my favourite songs of all time by Carole. I just love this. It's a bit of a groove to it. It's always like listening to that one. You Go Your Way, I'll Go Mine. Great vocal. It's a classic song from Carole. You're Something New. Does what it says on the tin. It's all them qualities, that sort of sound that you expect from a Carole King song. We're all in this together. Fantastic vocal. I love the gospel choir on this. It's fantastic. Wraparound Joy. A very good track. It's got a great saxophone solo on it. It's an interesting arrangement. You Gentle Me. Yeah, it's a nice track. Not one of my favourites on here, but I still like it. My Loving Eyes. Piano. Quirky. Really good. Sweet Adonis. Love the beginning of this one. I love the horns on it. Very good track. A Night This Side of Dying. Well put together song. Beautifully produced, beautifully sung. What more can you expect? The Best Is Yet to Come. Middle of the road sort of track with some nice strings. As far as I'm concerned, during the 1970s, Carole King did not put out a bad album. It was very hard to rank these albums. But this is a great album. And I'm going to give it an 8.2. Okay, then coming in at number 8, we go to 1976 now, and the Thoroughbred album, 7th album. Carole King's on here, Danny Korchmar's on here doing guitar, Russ Kunkel on drums, Ralph McDonald percussion, David Crosby, Graham Nash on backing vocals, Tom Scott on saxophone, and the legendary bass player Leland Sakar, played with Phil Collins, of course. If you don't know who he is, he's the man with the grey bushy beard and bushy hair. You'll know, when you see him, you'll know who he is. Brilliant bass player. First track on here is my favourite track, So Many Ways. It's such a wonderful song. Again, it's so simple. Piano. She wrote some great songs, and this is just a fantastic track. Daughter of Light. I wonder if this is a song about Jerry and Carole's daughter. I'm not quite sure one, but it's lovely words. Very warm words and very meaningful. High, Out of Time. Now this features on the backing vocals the one and only Mr. David Crosby and Graham Nash. One of my favourite songs. 3 great singers. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, Carole's done some work with David before, so it was inevitable that we're going to appear on one of her albums. Only Love Is Real. I like this song. Defines Carole King to me. There's Space Between Us. Great song. Great bass line and piano on this. Leland's bass line really coming through here. Great dynamic vocal from Carole. I'd Like to Know You Better. Nice harmonies on this one. It's a lovely, gentle song. Then we have another Goffin King song, We've All Been Alone. You can't knock this. They just wrote great songs. A wonderful song on here. Ambrosia. It's really good. It's a little bit different. Quirky. Still here thinking of you. Another Goffin King track. There's just something about these tracks. Heartwarming. On the last track is called It's Gonna Work Out Fine. Solid track to end the album. There's not many artists, I think, that have had a consistency throughout the decade as Carole. An album full of quality music, quality songs. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay then, coming in at number 7. Fifth album. Released in 1973, and it is called Fantasy. Loads of people on this. Opens up with a short little track with just Carole at the piano called Fantasy Beginning. Very short but lovely. Then you've got You've Been Around Too Long, one of these funky songs. I like the groove on this, some bongos, great guitar. What a track. Being at War With Each Other. It's just, although the title sounds aggressive, it's a relaxing song with a soothing vocal from Carole. Directions, good song again. I do like the strings. Gives it some depth. Wonderful little song. That's How Things Go Down. It's very hard to describe these songs because they're just really good. Another defining example of what she was doing. Wonderful track. Weekdays, lovely piano work from Carole, a wonderful vocal again, terrific song. Haywood, I like the change of pace, this chops and chains, it flows as well, it speeds up, it's the strings that do it, it gives it extra depth, and I think that's allowed Carole to muck about with it a little bit and not make it sound disjointed. Excellent track. A Quiet Place to Live, one of them 2-minute tracks. Wonderful. Welfare Symphony, some lovely saxophone on this. It really mingles in with the rest of the track. Like You Light Up My Life, a gentle breeze here, very lovely track. Corazon, funky guitar, some excellent trumpet on that. Good track. Believe in Humanity, one of my favourite vocals from Carole. It's just, she really hits them high notes and holds them wonderful. And the last track, Fantasy End, short, as the album started with a very short piano piece. Another good album from top to bottom here. Quality. So I should give that an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in at number 6, but before we do, I think I need another drink. So, as I said, number 6, 1979, Touch the Sky. Great album, this one. Time Gone By is the first track. It's got a very gentle percussion on it, with a little bit of congas and bongos. It's just, I love how it starts very simple, and then they just build on the layers of music. Wonderful track. Move Lightly. This has got a bit of a country rock feel to it. It's a great vocal from Carole. I do like that track. Dream Like I Wonder. Another very nice, gentle track. At the piano, wonderful. I love tracks like that. Then we got Walk With Me. What a bass line in this. You very, very rarely hear the bass being the most prominent in the foreground. It's usually in the back, just keeping the bass going. But this one, the bass is the more important, and it's the acoustic that is in the background. Really good, interesting arrangement, but it worked. I do like that. Good Morn, Good Mountain People, a little rocker, my favourite track on here. This is probably as heavy as as Carole got, it's my favourite track and one of my favourite tracks ever. You Still Want Her, my second favourite track on. I love the organ on this and the keyboard. I love that middle piece especially. Passing of the Days, very country, got a really good beat to it. A lady that can sing to all genres. Crazy, great track, great guitar work, a bit of oomph in it, but it just shows the versatility of Carole's singing. Eagle, another great track, quirky, nice arrangement. Seeing Red, a passionate vocal here from Carole. What a great track to end the album. Once again, another just quality album. There's some great songs on here, diverse, soul, bluesy, and even a little bit of country. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.6. Okay, coming in number 5, we've got the 8th album released in 1977. It's called Simple Things. First track is the title track. You can hear some nice little steel guitar in the background. Good start with a great bass line. My favourite track on here is the second track, Hold On. I love the start of it. I love the strong acoustic guitars. The keyboard comes in, it gets louder. Clever how it comes in. Really strong track. In the Name of Love, very short track, 3.5 minutes, but it's an intimacy of the flute and piano on this. Labyrinth, my favourite track on here. I love the stabby pianos on this with some nice saxophone. You're the One Who Knows, a great track. Lots of nice guitar riffs and little bits on here, really good. Hard Rock Cafe, it's got that holiday feel to it. It's got a nice saxophone, horns, maracas, really puts you in the holiday mood. Time Alone, a slow track with a wonderful arrangement with strings. God Only Knows, this is a long track and I do like it. It goes through different movements, starts off gentle, gets up a pace, goes back to the gentle. A really, really good song. To Know That I Love You, Carole, one of Carole's vocals, brilliant, but it's the backing vocals on this. They harmonise and they sort of lock on to Carole's main vocal. Wonderful track. And the last track is One. I love this track. It's just, I don't know, this, I can't describe this one. It takes you on a journey. It's a lovely lyric. Great song to end the album. Another great performance. Very strong vocal across the board on this one. So I shall give this an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, coming in number 4, we have the debut album from 1970, Writer. So you got Carole King on here, doing piano and vocals. Ralph Chouquet on organ. John Fishback on Moog synthesizer. James Taylor, yes, the James Taylor on acoustic guitar on Going Back. Danny Korchmar acoustic guitar. Got Charles Larkey on the bass. Joel O'Brien drums. Abigail Hannes and Dolores Hall's backing vocals. First track on here is a little track called Spaceship Races. I love this. It's a little quirky little number. One of my favourites on this album. No Easy Way Down. I like the rockiness. It's a gentle rock sort of track. Very basic, but very good. Child of Mine. This is one of them tracks that nearly made my top 10. You remember? I think it got in the honourable mentions. I do like it. Going Back. Okay, so we've already mentioned this today, but this is the best version of it, the original. Wonderful track. To Love. There's something quaint about this. I think it's the bass line and the delicate guitars and the lovely vocal. What Have You Got to Lose? Very jazzy sounding guitar on this. Just adds to the track. Eventually, a really nice song. A little bit confusing. It sort of doesn't know how to end, but it sort of pulls back. It's not too bad. Raspberry Jam. It's one of the middle of the roads sort of tracks. It's a bit of a jam on the guitar and piano. Some great drumming on here. Very jazzy drumming. I do like this track. Can't You Be Real. Love the organ on here, and the guitar solo in the middle is brilliant. And another great vocal from Carole. I Can't Hear You No More. Bit of funk here. Bongos. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Sweet Sweetheart. Great little track. Up on the Roof. Yes. Written with... It's one of her own songs. She wrote it for the Drifters, of course. It was another top 10 for Kenny Lynch. It's really good. The worst version of this, though, is, of course, Robson and Jerome's, but we don't go upon that. A lot of people say it was a disappointing album, but I like this album. It was a good start for her, and I really enjoy listening to this one. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, top 3. This was tough. Well, number 1 wasn't, but 2 and 3, I kept back to listening to them and going back to them. But I've stuck it with this, because if I kept going, I would have just changed it all the time. So coming in at number 3, the 4th album from 1972, Rhymes and Reasons. Opens up with Come Down Easy. Interesting. Bongo, strings, brass, piano. Great vocal. Great song. My, She Cries. A really short track, just over 2 minutes. Some lovely keyboards and guitar on this. But it's James Taylor. Basically, it's James Taylor and Carole King. It's wonderful. Peace in the Valley. Wonderful playing again here. I do like the percussion on it. I love the congos, and when the drums come in, it really boosts that beat. Then Feeling Sad Tonight, one of my favourite tracks on here. I think it's the strings that just give it that extra bit of zing, as I say. The First Day in August, wonderful. Carole, piano, strings, no more. That's all you need with a great vocal. Bitter with the Sweet, a terrific bass line, very distinctive. Some nice trumpet on this one as well. Then we have Goodbye Me Don't Mean I'm Gone. Another good track. Just solid. Stand Behind Me, another of those great tracks with Carole just sitting at the piano, singing and playing. Wonderful. Gotta Get Through Another Day. One of my favourite vocals from Carole on this album. Sings it with a lot of heart and soul. Then we have a track called Ferguson Road, written by Jerry and Carole. Another fabulous song. Brilliant. And then we have the classic Bint Canaan. Absolutely brilliant song. I don't have to say any more about this. It's just one of her best songs ever. That's the last track on the album. Another great album. Quality top to bottom. I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay, number 2. December 1971. The 3rd album, Music. This one opens up with Brother Brother. Interesting track. Now, when you listen to the percussion on it, it shouldn't fit. It shouldn't go with this track. But it does. Wonderful. Different, but I like it. It's Going to Take Some Time. A song that Carole wrote and was recorded by the Carpenters. And I would say this is the first and only time that I'll say I think the Carpenters version is better than Carole's. It's still a great song, but I think Karen Carpenter really made it her own, that one. Sweet Seasons. Love this track. Horns, delicate keyboard in the background. Then we have Some Kind of Wonderful, another Carole King, Jerry Goffin song. Cracking song with some beautiful harmonies. Then we have my favourite song on here, Surely. It's just so relaxing. relaxing. I love the gentle drum beat. It's sort of soft and gentle, and Carole's vocal just comes through wonderful on that. What a track. Carry Your Load is the next track. I love the bongos on here in the middle, and you got these horns coming through. Really good track. Then we have Music, one of my favourite tracks on here. It's got that jazz overtones. It could be played in a jazz club with a smoke. Wonderful. Song of Long Ago, just simple percussion of the bongos. Lovely track. Wonderful, wonderful. Brighter, quirky, great bass line, which is really prominent, and a fantastic vocal from Carole. Going Away From Me, I love the guitar work on this. Brilliant. Too Much Rain, one of the best vocals from Carole on this. Superb. And then the last track, Back to California. Absolutely killer guitar work, and it's electric. It's amazing track. What a track to end the album. Second album that she released in 1971. It's the same. It's on the same par as the other one, which we'll talk about in a moment. It was a great follow-up. Two great albums in 1971 from Carole. And I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 9.6. Okay, my number one is the second album she released in... Well, this is the first of the two that she released in 1971. This came out in February. It's her second album, and it's the wonderful Tapestry. First track on here, I Feel the Earth Move. Her piano on this is just wonderful. You can just see why this lady is such an incredible songwriter. It seems to flow. What a track. Then we have So Far Away, which I think is a classic from Carole. Her voice is wonderful. It's just one of them great songs that you cannot dislike. It's Too Late, written by Tony Stern. A lot of people have covered this, including Gloria Estefan. But this is the best version. One of my favourite songs by Carole King. Home Again, one of my favourite vocals from Carole ever. But when you put this on loud, it feels like that she's sitting next to you singing it. It's just wonderful. Beautiful. Barbra Streisand and Richard Marx have done vocal versions of this, but of course this is the best version. It's a wonderful song, and it's a great vocal from Carole. Way Over Yonder. This is the jazz room, smoky, big microphones. Wonderful. Then comes my favourite song ever, written by Carole King. It was a big hit for James Taylor. It's You've Got a Friend, and that's brilliant. She didn't release this as a single, but whose is the best version? This. James is brilliant, but Carole is even better. Wonderful. Where You Lead, another great track, lyrics written by Tony Stern. The guitar work is wonderful. Then we have a Jerry and Carole song, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? A big hit, of course, for the Shirelles in the 60s, but this is one of... She wrote it. I prefer this version. There's just something about it. Another of my favourite tracks by Carole, Smack Water Jack. Just 12-bar boogie shuffle. I just love this. Absolutely brilliant. Then we have the wonderful Tapestry itself. It's a song that nearly got into my top 10, but it's just a wonderful song. Then You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Of course, it was a big hit for Aretha Franklin. Her version is fantastic. There's not much between her version and Carole's. I love this song. It's just brilliant. That's a great track to end the album with. There are so many reasons why this is my number one. One, it contains 6 of my favourite songs ever by Carole King. It's my favourite album by any female artist. The sound just oozes quality. I play this album a lot. I just love it to bits. So I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. It's just one of my favourite albums by a female artist. Wonderful, wonderful album with some classic tracks on it. Okay, there we go. Next month, Ladies' Day goes back to the last Tuesday. But it was nice to talk about Carole King. Never really made a bad album. Some albums that weren't as good as I said, but these top 10 albums are just quintessential for me. Okay, that's all for today. We've got some beautiful sunshine here today. So going for a walk later will be really nice. But I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we have got a review of the second round of Battle Royale with Dave and myself, and we're going to go pick and mix, and we're going in the camera's eye, and we're going to look at the reunion concert between Simon and Garfunkel in Central Park. So that's all coming tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. Bye for now.